I come from a generation that worries a lot. We're worried about what our next move is. We're worried about who we're going to marry. We're worried about how much money we're going to save. We're worried about where life's going to take us in 5 years. But we're always just worried. Why are we as a generation so worried?
You are not unique. Every generation worries. We worried when we were embarking on our careers. We worried about how life would be as a married man and what kind of difficulties we would face growing up or cultivating our children. So worry is human nature. What is worry?
What is the fear of not knowing what the consequences?
Now you have come to the subject. Worry is a fear. Fear of not achieving something or losing something which you have already achieved. So these are the two factors which causes worry or stress or fear. Your question is, why do we worry? Why do we worry? Because we don't have answers. When you have an answer, there is no worry. Now I am worried as a graduate whether I'll get a job. If I am seeking employment, if I am a businessman, then whether my business will click, whether it will flourish, I have a different set of worries. But the worry is about the income that I'm going to generate either as an employee or as a businessman. Once I start generating the income, either in my salary or in my profits, that worry is gone. Now the worry is replaced by another worry. Will I get promoted? Will I get an additional salary? Will I get a better position? So replacement of worry is a constant. I need worry because worry is the fuel that powers me to aspire for and achieve something.
So when does that worry turn into a villain for you? Because if statistically my generation is and the generations after me are more anxious, are more prone to being depressed, are much softer, are less receptive to genuine criticism. Why has this happened? What has led to this?
Yeah, the tolerance level has gone down, okay? And tolerance is associated with an element of respect. When do we tolerate? If you look at, you go back 2-3 generations, because that's probably what you have witnessed yourself. Your parents' generation and maybe one generation before that. You will see an element of respect in those generations. And that respect led to tolerating knowingly nonsense that is being meted out. Yeah, maybe your parents didn't agree with your grandparents, but out of respect they would not contradict them. So they would tolerate them. The tolerance is born out of respect. Today's generation, the respect quotient has dropped. You know, tu kaun? Main bhi tere jaisa. What is so special about you? Okay, you are 20 years my senior, therefore you have achieved something. After 20 years, I will be much more than you. This kind of confidence is there, and sometimes the confidence tips you over to arrogance. When that happens, then the tolerance starts diminishing. Once the tolerance starts diminishing, it works both ways. It's like a chemical equation, it works from right to left and left to right. So when your tolerance is low, your respect is low. When your respect is low, your tolerance is low. So it works both ways. Now, why is your generation disrespectful or intolerant and consequently worried, as if you're on an edge? Is because the generation of today likes to learn but doesn't like to be taught. Yeah?
That makes sense.
Liking to learn.
Yeah.
I don't discount the younger generation at all. They all want to learn. That's why you see the progress that the world is making. It's on the basis of the younger generation wanting to learn and explore and experiment. But if there is somebody who comes and says, I will teach you, get lost.
Don't tell me how to learn something.
Gyan mat do.
Gyan mat do. Speaking of essence of the universe, love is another aspect. I feel not just me, but a lot of people I know as well are filtering before falling in love because we're afraid that eventually it's not going to be what we want it to be. And this is a constant problem that I see as well. Like, there's more divorces happening right now, which is nothing wrong with it. If you're not happy with somebody, you don't have to be with them. But is the conversation happening a lot more right now, or are people genuinely taking the stand of actively separating?
No. What is happening currently is lack of understanding. and there is a genesis to why lack of understanding is happening. Again, I'll take you back to 2 generations back, 1 generation back. The reading factor was very strong. Today, the reading is not happening. A lot of things are being heard. Yeah, and in the hearing, there is a message which the speaker wants to give you, and there is an interpretation which the listener is absorbing from what he is hearing. When you are reading, there is no speaking quotient, there is no speaking factor, there is no tone of voice, there is no facial expression. So it's entirely up to you what you pick up from what you are reading. And various vistas open up when you are reading. But when things are available to you in a cut-paste format or in an audio-visual format, then your attention span is very low, and your ability to experiment various avenues of what you're grasping is reduced. Therefore, the dimensions of any topic, you take any topic, the dimensions of any topic gets narrowed. Love, as you said. Now, if you look at love at the human level, in the earlier generations, it used to be emotions. Today, it is intelligence. It is calculation.
Yes.
It's logic. It is mathematics. Now, just to make it simpler, a human being is made up of 2 components. One is the consciousness and 2 is the subconscious. The subconscious is 90%. Consciousness is 10%. Now, consciousness comes in the brain, awareness. I become aware of what is happening around me. If I apply consciousness to various subjects, then I am applying only 10% of my mind to that subject. I don't feel the subject. I don't feel the love. I am calculating the love. इससे शादी करूँगा, इससे को life partner बनाऊँगा, तो मेरा फायदा क्या? So when you go into calculations, then you are operating only with the 10% of your mind. You have discounted 90% of your mind. There is no feeling in that relationship, which is the basis of separations, divorce, whatever. Marriage association is also commitment, that I have accepted a person with the good and the bad. Easy to say, but when I experience the bad, again my intolerance comes up. I cannot tolerate the bad. When you talk of love as an emotion, then there is a lot of acceptance and tolerance. Today there is no acceptance and tolerance. Tu nahi to aur sahi. That's the equation. But if you go into the spiritual aspect of love, love is neither an emotion nor an intelligence. Love is a law. And what law is this? Love is a law of creation. Everything gets created out of love. When we say, I love you, it doesn't fall in sync with what the universe expects you to do. The universe expects you to be creative. The whole universe is constantly creating. That's why you have multiplicity in the universe. Why? Because there is a constant experimentation going on. Evolution is happening. What is evolution? It's an experiment of the creator. From a lower organism to a higher organism. When you reach the human level, it is said that the human is the highest level of organism that the universe has created so far. But even in the human beings, there is a level of consciousness that you reach. So you have some animalistic human beings who are interested only in self-preservation, food and sex, which is what the animals are also doing. Then there is a level of developed consciousness which is aspiring for knowledge, intellectual knowledge, conscious mind knowledge. Then there is a level of human beings who are compassionate. They empathize, they sympathize, and they would like to encompass a wide body of human beings in their ambit to make their life better. You will see local leaders, you will see state level leaders, you will see national leaders, you will see global leaders. They are of that type. I'm not talking of the selfish leaders, I'm talking of leaders in the proper sense of a leader. So, when you start encompassing everything as your own, you ultimately reach a stage where you say, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means the whole universe is one family. So all are my family members. And then your compassion flows. And that is love.
And as someone who fell in love in a more traditional way, which is hiding behind trees and staring at your partner till they notice you, and now we swipe right and left based on how the person looks, how tall they are, what their name is, you know. how do you assess this difference in choosing your partner?
It's a part of times. Now, choosing a partner is an individual subject. What appeals to one person may not necessarily appeal to another person. So it's an individual choice. And choices are according to trends. So what is currently trending? तू क्या कर रहा है? अच्छा मैं मेरे wife में ना I want an earning wife, I want a good looking wife, and I want somebody whom I will be proud to be seen along with. Example दे रहा हूँ. Okay.
Is that wrong?
I'm not saying right or wrong. There is no right or wrong in the universe. There is only cause and effect.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Today's generation is an effect of something that was done or not done by the previous generation. For example, एक लड़का बिगड़ गया. So the parents didn't pay enough attention to his upbringing. तो बिगड़ गया. There is a cause and there is an effect. Everything is cause and effect. Right and wrong is my perception.
Okay.
Yeah. For the Muslim, the Hindu dharma is wrong. For the Hindu, the Muslim dharma is wrong. Both are not wrong. It is just the perception. So right and wrong is not the discussion. It is, are you aware of the cause and are you aware of the effect? That's it. The day you realize कि मेरे relationship इस वजह से बिगड़ रहे हैं, you have found the cause, you will correct the effect.
And how do you detach yourself from a situation that you've been in too long for, or a relationship you've been in too long for, when it does not give you enough value?
Debatable question or a debatable subject, because what is value? Your values keep changing. Yeah, when you got associated with a person, your value was about the looks, the beauty. Over 20 years, that beauty has diminished or vanished. Have your values vanished? If it is associated with beauty,
yeah.
Yes, they have vanished.
Yeah.
But is that the reason why you got associated?
Potentially, yes. Potentially.
So then somewhere I am standing on a wrong footing.
So
Then I am not respecting myself as an individual and I am not respecting another person as an individual, because it is not one aspect of the individual. I want to marry your ear, not your nose, not your lips. Can I say that? No, I cannot say that. So it's like saying this: I married you for your beauty. Now you are ugly. Get lost. Doesn't work that way. Because the same thing happens with me. I was handsome. I had a lot of thick hair. Now my hairline is receding. Look at me from the other person's point of view. I'm not the same person.
So eventually, after a certain time, it becomes more of a tolerance game, or is this still enough?
No, it's not a tolerance game. It's a game of respect. I must respect my partner for the good and the bad. है ऐसी है. My partner is like that. ठीक है. I accepted ना. Was I blind when I accepted? Then it's my fault. Then I should pay for that fault. Pay with my life. Pay with my commitment to stay with that person for life. I committed the fault of selecting that person, if it is a fault. If I consider it a fault, I committed it. Stay true to your fault.
Another question I do have is, as someone that grew up with a working mother and a fairly very talented and hardworking sister, that has sort of built my perception on what my ideal wife
Always
ought to
happens.
be.
Your ideals are always, for the girl, the father is the ideal, for the boy, the mother is the ideal. So it always happens. So there is always a comparison subconsciously that my mother was like this, you are not like that.
Yeah.
Unfair.
Slightly unfair, but
Is totally unfair. Your thumbprint is different.
Okay.
How can you even compare?
Not compare, but would
The
that not be
comparison
a
is happening.
benchmark?
Yeah, the benchmark is a comparison.
And so that's wrong to begin with.
Naturally, because your thumbprint is different. Universally, you were born with a different thumbprint. Accept that I am different. Another person is different. How do I blend with that difference is the key. And that is the aspect that is missing.